So like I mentioned before, I pulled out an alpha of like a lion shape to see if I could like just throw it on there and then go in and maybe sculpt on it. But there's just not enough control for me. Try to maybe like Dynamesh a little area here and then go through and try to sculpt on this. And just like when we were doing the hair for the big lion helmet, or the forehead lion, I'd use insert mesh brushes for this fur, or maybe even the fur fiber mesh, and just doing that and combing it into place for all these little fur details and converting that to geo, and then doing a I don't know, that might be something to explore in a future live stream or something like that. So this I just masked, made a polygroup out of it, and then did a ZBrush, and now I'm trying to get like a bevel or something on the side. And then now I'm just going to sculpt on it. It's a little bit easier to sculpt on it on a flat surface maybe. And again, this is just more brute force methodology where I just go through and I'm like, okay, to hell with it. I'm just going to go through and sculpt a lion on a flat surface, just doing a lion relief sculpture essentially. If you were so inclined, if you could actually model in theory, I haven't actually done this, but it makes sense to me, to just sculpt out a lion, and I'd actually maybe have one, or like a saber-tooth tiger or something. I'd start with that, and then you can make a relief sculpture out of that just by squishing it in the x-axis, or whatever axis that the long side of the body's on. And then all you have to do is like Z-sphere pose it, and then squish it, and then maybe Control-Shift, select some, and move some pieces in and out, just to kind of get you you started out with a full body, full 3D lion, and then you could actually squish it into a relief sculpture. So that's probably how I would go about it today. And again, this hair here, I would maybe even consider fiber mesh. That might be a fun thing to try out, is just do a fiber mesh main curves. But really, probably a bunch of insert mesh brushes, where I just do an insert mesh brush of that shape with a hard edge towards me, and just inserting a bunch of them, and then dynameshing them at the very end and smoothing them and doing that. Maybe an insert mesh curve brush, but probably not even that much. It would just be simply just an insert mesh brush with a little curly cues there, a hard edge towards me. And again, maybe we'll go through with this playlist in a later live stream, and we'll just go through new techniques of how I would tackle some of these. But this is just, again, brute force, clay brush, H polish, standard brush, just sculpting a bunch of hair. Not recommended. Do insert mesh brushes, drag them on there. Gives you a lot more freedom, a lot more control. But if you're so inclined, you can go through here and just sculpt the hell out of of some fur. Why not? And just for the body of the lion, it is a very stylized lion body, that medieval kind of lion look. Iffy anatomy. It's not quite as crazy as like some of the medieval stuff where it's like the monk was told a description of a lion and they kind of tried to draw it based on something they heard as opposed to something they've seen. This one looks like they actually maybe saw a lion and then tried to draw it later from memory or something like that. So very stylized, pretty representative of something that would be a little bit later in the centuries, not early medieval or anything. But and it looks like I ZBrushed it just to get a more predictable surface. When you're using Dynamesh, you'll end up with a lot of triangles. If you ZBrush it and then project that detail back, you'll get a lot more even quads, and your topology will smooth a little more predictably, and your brushes will behave a little more predictably. So, I don't know, something to consider. And essentially, that's just duplicating off your object, ZBrushing it, and then going back through and projecting, subdividing, projecting, subdividing. That's subtool project, subdivide. If you go through my channel and you look at Marvelous Designer, I do a lot of that, where I do my cloth in Marvelous Designer, then I bring it into ZBrush, and project, subdivide. Same idea there. Refining fur, not very fun. And this is, again, man, just go in there, make an insert mesh brush that goes taper thick to thin with the hard edge towards you, just drop it in there. Or if you want to get fancy, even an insert mesh curve brush, you can go in there and you can make a bunch of different curly cues on a plane and then save those off as insert mesh brushes. Then you can just stamp or drop those in there and then split them off as their own subtools. Turn on auto masking with your move brush and just overlap them and twist them and helix them around. And then you can Dynamesh them at the very end. They give you a lot more control, make it a lot cleaner process and a lot less work. This is a lot of work. Not recommended. Sorry I keep saying that. And again, sorry I keep bringing up the fact that this is old legacy stuff. It is. These are like found videos from the days of old school techniques. But and also if you wanted to spin these edges again, the brush I would be looking for. In fact, let me open up ZBrush here real quick and see if I can get you exactly what that brush is called. But in the meantime, yeah, clay buildup too, or clay tubes is also another way to kind of get a little bit more of that twisting helix in there, and then going back in with your H polish brush and stuff. And the brush I'm talking about is, so let's see, BS Spiral. Look at the spiral brush, and that's what's going to kind of twist those ends into little curly cues there. Sorry, I had to close ZBrush if that made a little ding in your ear. More fur refining. Boring stuff here. So yeah, now we're just getting into the detail phase. And this one for the fur, if I want to like detail the fur, I was thinking about going through, it's probably a little overkill, especially if it's going to be like, I don't know, I mean, etched metal, you can get pretty detailed with that, but then you also got to think about what's noisy and letting the eye breathe a little bit, so I just decimated it down. Turn on projection strength, so it kind of wrapped around the helmet. In this day and age, you could also just wrap it on here and then use your deformers. So this was back before the deformers, but I would use a bend or arc deformer to kind of bend it around the helmet curve a little bit. I think I manually had to go through. And then for the tail here, okay, looks like I'm topology brushing out, just something I'm just going to use Dynamesh probably. Just getting some thickness on that tail, inflate that end out, Dynamesh it. Oh, what am I doing here? Oh, I'm going to sculpt a little tail end. Oh, maybe not. Okay, so then again, just more brute force. Go through here, get my idea out quickly behind it, just trying to see like where and what shapes I need, and then using topology brush to pop those shapes off. And then probably just Dynameshing them and sculpting in the detail. Again, a little bit destructive with the Dynamesh stuff, but in a pinch, or sometimes it's just quicker and the fidelity's fine. Just to go through and Dynamesh and sculpt is perfectly reasonable. Nothing wrong with that. A lot of tweaking. Not real exciting, I'm sorry about that. But for these shapes here, definitely I would go through and use insert mesh brushes with the hard edge towards me, and maybe even Z modeler to build these shapes so I get nice crispy creases and very smooth shapes. But like I said, in a pinch, it's fine. Use Dynamesh and H polish and all those tricks.